Hello and welcome back to Cage by the Page. It's been a minute. It's the podcast where we review and discuss books that keep us hooked. I'm your host David, and I'm joined by Tiffany. Hello,
Hello.
Winona.
Hello.
Yeah, and today we're gonna dive right into the Priory of the Orange Tree. I don't think we're gonna do a non-spoiler review. I think we just go into like the whole book and our thoughts and feelings, and then put a numbered rating on it. 1 to 5.
Sounds good.
It's a big book. It's about 800 pages. 820. I want to say maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
it
it's a lot.
is a big book. So the book, the Priory of the Orange Tree, is an epic fantasy novel by Samantha Shannon. We work with a Shannon, so that's good. The book is set in a fictional world where dragons are real and women rule. Women rule. How do you feel about that, guys? You like that?
Yeah.
The novel is notable for its subversion of the medieval fantasy genre, as well as its queer and feminist themes. The story follows four main characters from different regions of the world who must unite to face an ancient enemy that threatens to destroy everything. The novel is inspired by the folklore and mythology of Europe, Japan, China, and it explores themes of redemptive power of love and the importance of diverse perspectives. The Priory of the Orange Tree was published in 2019, was a New York Times bestseller, so we're kind of late to the party, I guess, but that's okay. So we're gonna talk a little bit about it. So let's but before that, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends about us. Always helps. What else? We got all the social medias, so Cage by the Page, get on that, please, for the love of fucking God. If you want us to keep making more. No, I'm kidding. We do it for the love of the game, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So okay. So let's just start a little bit with like how it starts out. We got Tane, okay? She is preparing herself for the trials. It's a special kind of I get Hunger Games or whatever, where
Yeah.
they'll choose a dragon rider. But I'll be honest, guys. The more you read this book, they don't give you much of the dragon trials or all of that. They put it into the beginning of the book to kind of get you hooked, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was 2 chapters.
Like, say what you want to say about Fourth Wing, but at least they actually had to go through some shit to get their dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Like there was nothing.
Yeah.
It seemed so easy.
I think a lot of authors capitalize off of the idea of trials.
Right.
You're either going to be able to write all of those action-packed scenes and like be able to really flesh out the idea of a trials, or you're not.
Yeah.
And this book,
And if you can't, just don't.
Just don't.
Try.
You can talk about them. You can
Yeah.
discuss them in a like broad kind of way, like how she had to do it, but just don't even include the actual trials because you didn't flesh them out well enough. And she doesn't gain badassery because of those trials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
Point of them.
No, Tane is a badass. She's really quick, nimble, fast. She kicks some ass, all of those things. But really, the true star of this whole book and the one you really want to follow is Ede. She is the cool one. She also has all these magic powers. I mean, Tane does inherit magic powers. You find out later in the book she's tied to Napuro, which was like one of the original people who actually, went against like the Nameless One, which is the big bad evil of this book, a big dragon that used to just, I don't know, eat people. I guess that was the whole thing. So, but Tane is such a, I don't know, I didn't like the character that much. I didn't like her. I honestly, the whole eastern half of this book, because like I said, this book infuses a west and east type of mythology, is weak. It's weak. It's not fun. It could have been a lot more fun. It should have been like 2 books, and then a third book to wrap it all up, or give us a little, that's where the Avengers assemble or whatever. Okay, but they didn't do it that way, and they kind of crammed it in, and it feels like just a dangling appendage that she didn't need, like some sort of cancerous mole-ish tumor. No, I'm kidding. I mean, maybe it's not that bad. I mean, there were some good things from Tane's story. I couldn't find them. Maybe you guys did.
If I found him, I don't remember him.
Okay, fair enough.
So the thing is that like I enjoyed her writing style. I do think that she is a good writer.
Mhm.
However, and I think that she writes very well written prose, right? Like the individual pieces of each piece of the story, I think is done well. But my biggest issue with her is that it did not tie in well, and she put a lot of focus on specific characters while putting in a four perspective book. And I don't have a problem with different perspectives in a book. I don't even have problems with different storylines all tying together. The problem is not all of them were interesting enough.
Yeah, there was, aside from Tane, we have Nicolaes.
Yes.
He is probably
the most annoying
uninteresting, boring, yes, whiny.
Oh my god.
Yeah, all the things that you can think of. So basically, his story is that he's been banished by the Queen Sabran, the Queen of the West, and he was supposed to make an elixir of life, like everlasting life, because Sabran, her story is that she basically needs to have kids, and she never wanted to have kids, and so she thought, well, maybe I can keep up this like inherited bloodline power that's protecting the kingdom if I drink a potion to make me live forever. That doesn't work out. So anyway, he gets banished by her, and then in one day walks in Tane. They have no connection up until that point. Is she just knows that he's a loser, and if he gets caught or whatever with Suliard, this dude that washes up on the shore that threatens to ruin Tane's dragon trials, then I mean, there's no skin lost in the game for her. She's just like, whatever. So here's some silver. Take this fucking rat bum that washed up on the shore, because if they catch this outsider on our island, they're gonna stop the dragon trials, and that was a big thing for her. She needed to tame a dragon. She needed to be with a dragon. She loves dragons. And so the eastern half of like the whole dragon mythology and stuff is the dragons are very nice. They actually want to help people. They have different kind of powers. They look like eastern dragons, where they have like friendly faces and pearls here that kind of glide them into the sky, and they have like dream weaving powers almost, instead of like just fire. While the Western dragons are all like fire and eat people, and destroy castles and stuff. So, so Suliard gets tied up with Nicolaes, and then Nicolaes is like learns that Suliard was actually the boyfriend or husband of this adoptive granddaughter, Truide, who is at the castle with Sabran. And Truide and Suliard had this great idea that they would unite the kingdoms, because the Northern Kingdom is like all well, their religion is completely different. They follow the nameless one. Basically, they follow the devil, while Sabran's religion is like all high and mighty and pious, and they're the good guys. They hate dragons, by the way. There's no like Eastern where dragons are cool. No, dragons are bad. And our Jesus Christ, he stabbed the dragon and killed the dragon, and that was his big thing, supposedly, but that's not actually the case. So so anyway, Nicolaes, after that, he moves on. I don't know what do you guys have to say about Nicolaes as a character?
I think he was whiny. I think he didn't add a lot to the story. I think the whole tie-in of Tane, Nicolaes, and Suliard was just a very poorly done plot device.
Yes.
Because it's in the very beginning of the book. If you missed it, you missed it. But it somehow ties into the very like middle-ish end of the book, where Tane basically gets banished from being a dragon rider, even though they make it very clear that once you become a dragon rider, you are tied to this dragon. This dragon really only wants you to be the one riding it. And if their religious ideals is that these dragons are gods, which is what the conversation tends to be about. If that's the case, why do these humans think that they have the right to banish people from their dragons?
Well,
You know,
Yeah.
I think it was like a whole like court thing where they kind of like subverted, you know, the wishes.
but if you believe that these entities are gods, why do you think you have the right to subvert them, right? Which I feel like, again, that conversation wasn't fleshed out at all. Why wasn't that had? If you believe truly that these dragons are gods, you wouldn't feel that you had the right to do something like that.
And Tane does become a dragon rider. She's like hot shit for a minute. But yes, and Clays comes into her life and is like, I'm gonna tell on you for dropping this like Suliard rat bastard at my doorstep kind of thing.
And that's like one of his only important moments in the book.
Yeah.
He has one other important moment where he talks about the correct weapon to slay the nameless one, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those are
It was a specific sword, the Escalon sword, or Scalon,
Yeah.
Ascension sword. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the metal is the only thing that could pierce the dragon's like armor.
so
Yeah.
those are his two big moments, right?
Mhm.
Is like ruining Tane's life and
Yeah.
telling which weapon to use.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this. At least it was two losers that I didn't care for getting getting their shit kicked in. Because Eid is the one that I really liked, and the only and Sabran. Eid and Sabran, those were my homies. I really enjoyed their story. I really wanted the whole book just to be about them, and
Yeah.
keep
The
there.
thing is that I don't think that Tane was a loser. I think that the author made her a loser.
No, yes, Tane is not a loser. In fact, she's related to again Naporo, who was this like she so basically there's like these three trees that have magical powers in the world that kind of like empower the people that eat it. So Eid, for example, eats the fruit of the orange tree and has fire powers. Okay, and then what is it? Naporo ate the fruit of the I can't remember the name, but I believe the magic is called Sin or something, or maybe is that eats magic. I can't remember. Anyway, they're kind of like fire and water, okay? And that's kind of what they use those cool superpowers together and the sword with the metal and kill the nameless one at the end of the book. Big spoiler, whatever. And so yes, Tane has those abilities eventually. She, in fact, not only does she have that ability, but she also eats of the orange tree. She is because that also infuses her full of sin or whatever, and so yes, she's a cool character and she's got moves. She's got like jujitsu, kung fu,
But
whatever,
it's frustrating that she didn't get
and flies with a dragon.
She didn't get more storyline. Not to mention her storyline.
Okay. I will say that she did have storyline at the end of the book, like a better storyline toward the end of the book, where she flies off, to the Priory to save Eid's life because Eid gets poisoned by one of the Red Maidens. Because I mean, this is like going all over the place now, but basically, to save Eid's life, she needed to get another orange fruit and bring it back to Eid to eat, and that would heal her of the poison. But you know what? And now that I'm thinking about it, she did get caught though, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
At the caves and stuff. Oh man. Okay. So that kind of sucked. But then yeah, I guess no.
Yeah, it just sucked that she didn't get as much fleshed out as Eid and Sabran did, because that is the point of my issue with the book.
Okay, but you know what though? But here is the thing. Okay, the book is not a 3 for me, right? It's like a 4, and it's because of Eid and Sabran.
See, it's a 3 for me because I feel like the author lacked the ability to tie all of these characters into their storylines. It was always just, we're going to get back to Eid and Sabran. And I don't know about when you guys were reading it, but when I was reading it, I remember wanting to skip over chapters to get back to Eid and Sabran. And if I wanted to do that, that means that the rest of those storylines didn't feel valuable to me.
Yeah.
Like Loft storyline? What?
Okay.
Don't remember it. Don't remember it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tiffany? Do you remember Loth? Do you know who Loth is?
I don't.
Okay. All right. So Loth is Sabron's like bestie that got kicked out by
Oh,
the night.
yeah.
That got kicked out by the Night Owl over to Yscalon, the Northern Kingdom, with all the evil stuff. And the plague, by the way, is ravaging all of Yscalon. And you also learn that the king himself is actually infected with the plague and is being controlled.
Doesn't Loth get infected too?
He does get infected, so he can like move through the zombies. Basically, he becomes a zombie so that the other zombies don't eat him. Because if you have the plague, I don't know. Well, what happens is that the actual ruler. Okay. So the ruler himself is infected by the plague and is being controlled by Friardal, who is the dragon, the second in command, the lieutenant to the nameless one. Basically, the nameless one had been defeated, and he's slumbering for like a millennia until they reawaken him, which is coming. Which happens at the end of the book. The nameless one gets reawakened, and all that, and Ede and Tane with their magical superpowers, and thanks to Niclays and the magical sword shard, they combine and stab the nameless one, and yay. So anyway, so Lot's Sabron's best friend, and he's like close in the court and stuff, but he got kicked out because people thought that he was screwing Sabron. And that would not have looked good, but he has no desire to go with Sabron. In fact, he wants to screw Yscalon's like princess, queen, daughter, whatever of the king, who the Don Mata, I think is her name, and she actually helps him get out of Yscalon by telling him also that just get infected. If you get to the border town and then get to the orange tree, they'll heal you with the orange fruit, and you'll be fine. And all of that stuff when he gets up there, and so Loth. Now that you kind of and then later on, Loth does help a lot. Like he becomes kind of an envoy for Sabron when he gets back to the throne. They do the whole like rescue Sabron from the chambers and stuff from the actual evil bad guy that's been like screwing things up. I think the justice something or other of the court. What was her name? I can't remember her name. But anyway, she's a justice. She's the one who kind of like tells people, okay, you're going to get hung. You're going to get flayed. You're going to get burned. What a job. There was a job for that kind of person once. Like, hey, you're going to be the guy who's going to, or woman in this case, who's going to choose how you die today. So I don't know. That was kind of funny, but yeah. Anyway, and then at the end of the book, he's kind of like more of the peacekeeper, kind of like the second in command. The Hand of the King, if you know Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was his whole story, basically.
But like again, he had a whole section of the book that was not that interesting and could have been told in somebody else's storyline. Quite frankly, the problem with this whole book is that it's too long. It's too long for the value that it adds to the storyline. Some of the characters are completely forgettable. A large portion of the story is forgettable. Niclay's whole story, it's only valuable towards the end of the book. It's only valuable towards the end.
Yeah.
And he whines for like
he does whine a lot.
At least 200 pages.
You have brought down my score to a 3.5 now.
Yeah.
Because I am now remembering all the whining, like the Pelican or the Peniquin or whatever the hell. And then there was when he got to the doctor's place, the whole scene with Tane. Like dude, get out of here. Nobody likes you.
I hated Niclays. I think he was the most annoying character of all of them. Now, the things that this book did well, because I don't want to entirely shit on it.
Yes, we've shed on it for 19 minutes now. Go on.
Ede and Sabron, chef's kiss. It was a very fun like relationship to read.
Yes.
It was interesting in the way that like it was almost I don't know how like butterflies almost. Like they have like they're kind of so playful with each other in this like they don't know how to interact because they're such an unlikely match, right? Sabran is this religious hierarchy inside of a Western religion and kingdom, and she has all of these rules placed on her.
I will say this also adds to the fact that being gay in this book does not mean anything. Like in terms of like it's not taboo in whatsoever. It seems
I think it was taboo
for the station that she's in.
for the
Yeah.
but not for the entire like kingdom, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
being gay
It's
wasn't
like,
a problem.
sorry, you have to produce an heir. So
yes.
Yeah.
That's
But
part of that religion.
they were an unlikely match, you know?
Yeah.
Sabran is a part of the like literally the antithesis of what Eve grew up to understand and to believe, right? They have almost opposing paths towards the end of the religion. And the entire time you have this like backstory coming from Eve where she's telling you that like, okay, yes, this is where her religion goes, but this is where my religion veers off that path, right? But they fall in love. And also like the way that they fall in love is really interesting to me because it kind of comes out of nowhere. They're like kind of like they're friends, but they're not friends,
Mhm.
right? They're
Mhm.
kind of they're playing at each other.
Mhm.
They're both interested in each other. They're
Mhm.
kind of like they're pushing the boundaries while like not pushing the boundaries. There was like a lot of push and pull that I found really interesting in their relationship that I don't know, it was kind of what is the word that I'm looking for? Like
like a slow
shy.
burn.
No, it was like a very
Or
shy romance
Mhm.
throughout until you get to like their big romantic moment together, right?
yeah.
I will say with the romantic moments together, those are pretty well written. Like they were very flowery with the language. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And but you understood what was happening. You felt the passion between them and stuff. And I yeah I thought that was really well done between Ede and Sabran. That yeah. Five out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the romance. I think the romance was probably the best part of the book.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
and probably the only reason I'm even giving it 3 stars. If it wasn't for those like lighthearted, lovely feelings that you get between those two, I think I would have an even lower rating.
Well, yeah, but I would also add that there were some pretty cool action scenes in the book.
Yeah, there were.
You
There were
know,
some cool
L-
action
l-
scenes.
like by the time you get to like page 100, where everything starts to finally kick off, where Friedel attacks, and Ede uses her magic to like do a barrier for Sabran and stuff, and the castle's falling apart and everybody's like going crazy or whatever. Yeah, that was well done. I think the what is it the whole like when Ede decides to kind of shirk her duty as a prioress, because eventually she is asked to be like a ramp damsel, which is like a high honor, because she's been at Sabron's court for like 10 years and she's one of the best, if not the best. She is the best.
Yeah.
But then she realizes that that she loves Sabron way more than that, and she can't just let Sabron get you know taken over by whatever weird court intrigue is happening in the background and stuff. And so she goes against her station, and that whole chase against the and Loth, she rescues Loth, she brings Loth out of the priory, on the back of Alec 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 Alequin Alequin
I don't know, some mystical.
Aladash, yeah. He's basically a big otter, like a big furry bear otter thing, right? Am I misremembering what he is? He can talk though.
Was he a big out? I don't know. I feel like I
Yeah.
remember him as a bird.
No. The bird is her adoptive father, Chasser. Chasser has a bird, and I believe Chasser gives basically it helps out Ede out of the priory. Um,
Okay. So
yeah,
what
using the
are
bird.
we talking about? What?
Because I believe at the time they had they had the box filled with the pearl or whatever of the dragon, that had the celestial energy or whatever that they needed,
Mhm.
to like, yeah. So and I think the bird is what, she gives. The bird gives the box to Eid. Eid gets the box and is like, okay, I need this power, but I don't believe she can use it until Tane can use it, and then Tane uses the power of the box or the pearl or whatever the fuck it was. I can't remember now. It's like the teardrop of a dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So it, Alec.
Yeah, I don't even remember the
I mean, I look, guys.
art.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wrote like at the time when I read this book. I wrote 32 pages of notes. 32 pages, and I'm not using a single one. I know, fuck. But
The other action scenes that I found really interesting was Caliba. Like
Kaliba, yeah.
Kaliba, however you pronounced her name. I think that honestly, I feel like she should have had a storyline. I think that she should have been a narrator.
She did have a storyline at the end of the book.
Sure, but she should have been a narrator.
Yeah.
I think that all of the pieces that fall into place with her towards the end of the book would have been far more interesting, because there's something about reading an anti character, right? Like somebody who's going against everybody, that is far more interesting than listening to an old man whine.
Yeah.
I think her storyline would have been far more interesting. Her, because she was like living in the woods, basically. She was like some creepy little witch in the woods. And the entire time you're hearing about Sabran having these dreams about, like she's going to end up dealing with some witch in the wood. She's like having prophetic dreams about her having a child and a witch in the wood, whatever, right? Like, it would have been far more interesting to then cut to like a surreal moment with a witch in a wood, right? And not knowing what's going on in those moments until you get to the point where she becomes far more important. Instead of listening to Loth get infected by some weird fire plague and Nick Clay's be a whiny little bitch boy.
Well, now that I think about it, what was the point of Loth? Up until the point that he, after the fact, he leaves the Priory because of Eid's help.
Honestly, I feel like he was just like to make it seem like Eid and Sabran weren't going to end up together.
Oh, like just
because I feel like Loth. I don't know. I feel like I remember Loth being like, I don't know, like interested in Eid.
Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah, he was some kind of weird red herring.
Yeah.
But it wasn't very good,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like it wasn't fleshed out.
And this is why I can't give this book 4 stars, because there's so many little pieces that like they eat away at my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
And if it would have been a faster paced book, the thing is I can't.
Arlac.
Yeah.
It was Arlac. Well, which reminds me of like something from, what's that movie? Neverending Story. Wasn't the horse named Arlac? What was the horse's name?
Oh God.
Okay, Google. What was the horse's name in Neverending Story?
This podcast is chaotic.
Artax.
Oh, Artax! Okay.
According to Wikipedia, Artax, the horse belonging to the main character Atreyu in the children's fantasy novel Neverending
stop.
Story.
I found it first.
Arlac, Artax. Okay, all right. Well, now I feel better because that would have bothered me for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, where were we?
God damn it, Dave.
Oh, okay. So anyway, Loth was a useless appendage. Niklays was a useless appendage. Tane could have been cooler, but it just wasn't fleshed out. Her personality was also kind of hard to really connect with. Like her personality is like, I'm the hardworking little girl that's gonna get noticed, or whatever. And then I'm a badass. Also, she's gay. But that's not really. I believe she is, right? She's got that girlfriend that she kind of used to get Soliard to Nicolaes, and then that girlfriend got brutally murdered by the Orsima like night guard or whatever, like burned or flayed or whatever, along with Soliard.
How did we know that they had romantic intrigue? I don't.
The girl that Tane, yeah, they were like this. They were like, she basically did, and because Tane saved her when she was younger, and that's how she got her scar. Because that's the other
No,
thing.
I know. Like, I thought they were just close friends.
I don't know. It came off like there was more than that, but maybe that's just me. I guess.
They just want all the women in here to be gay.
No, that is not the case. I am just saying that's how it came off to me. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe somebody out there can correct me.
It's possible that like they were gay and maybe I just didn't read into it that far because again, I didn't really care that much about Tane in the beginning.
Yeah. Yes.
The other character that I think had a storyline that we kind of missed out on was Truide.
Truide could have been an interesting character because she was in the court. She was trying to create some sort of like bridge between Iskalin and kind of get like people together so that we could fight against the Nameless One who is coming. She learned that the Nameless One was coming. Like there was no stopping it, and that I don't believe she knew that Sabran's baby drama mama thing wasn't gonna actually but I think she was on that path to discovering it, right?
Yeah.
And so but in the end Truide got beheaded and spiked. Her head was put on a spike
because of treason, right? Because
treason.
She's the reason that Albrecht died.
Yes. Albrecht was a suitor for Sabran that eventually turned into a king, Sabran's king, and they were trying to have a baby. But after the attack on Sabran, he gets killed accidentally. I don't believe it was supposed to happen. I think that the followers, Truide's followers or whatever, that she kind of got together and kind of put it in their heads to like do this attack. They went overboard.
Yeah, so the goal...
it was to scare her. I think it was to scare Sabran into forming alliances, which she...
Yeah, the goal of the attack was to create pressure for Sabran to try to mend ties with these other kingdoms.
Yes.
But, Albrecht ends up dying, and then Sabran miscarries.
Yeah, I think the miscarriage actually happened because... Well, there was no miscarriage. I think Sabran never... Well, maybe she was pregnant. I can't remember. At some point, the dragon, one of the Friardel, hurts Sabran and kind of ruins her womb. I don't remember at what point that happens, though.
I think that was during the miscarriage. I think that's when that went down.
But was it on page 100 or was it like page 500?
Who fucking knows?
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So anyway, so her religion gets kind of blown up because if she can't have a baby, there's no religion, because that's what this whole thing is based on, that the bloodline must continue. Once the bloodline is gone, then the big Nameless One comes back, which does happen. So,
but that's not what that's not actually what was happening. Like, he was basically locked in a tomb for a specific amount of time based on certain kinds of magic.
Yes, so Sin, which is the fire magic, got stronger, while the celestial magic, which I can't remember the name of, got weaker, and that's the celestial magic was what was actually keeping the Nameless One at bay, at the bottom of an ocean. And so in that time, those celestial dragons, the nice dragons with the pearls and stuff, they got weaker. Their abilities got weaker. They weren't able to do these amazing fantastical feats they used to do, and they also have not been able to have more kids. They weren't able to hatch more babies or whatever. So that's why becoming a dragon rider was such a big fucking deal for Tane, because they were kind of dying breed, as you will. So but that's why the Nameless One appears out of the ocean and he's like, oh, I'm a big man now, so strong.
Yeah. And from what I remember, they were trying to prevent him from even waking up. That was the point of the magic at first, like getting all of the magical pieces put together, but it was going to end in a fight because they couldn't do it in time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, after that, but Ede's there for Sabran, and that was really sweet, and she was definitely like, second in command for Sabran and stuff, on everything, and I believe she gets knighted in some way, like first of her title, first of her kind, or whatever, to get knighted that way.
That was to protect her because she came back from the prioress,
Right.
to save Sabran.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, even when Ede got sick and stuff, from the assassination attempt on Ede's life from the Red Maidens of the Priory, Sabran was all there for her, and just was like, yeah, I don't know, it's a very sweet relationship. I really enjoyed that relationship. I love the back and forth, like you were saying, a lot of butterflies. I understand that kind of like, it's like a love story. It's like an actual love story. You enjoy watching these two kind of flourish together. When they are together, and kind of they don't feel complete when they're apart, which does happen in the book. When
it also wasn't like the instant love.
No, yeah,
definitely wasn't instant.
Yes, because Sabran was like, my religion, this is how it is. I need to have a baby, even though I hate the idea of having a baby, so I kind of hate myself for not wanting to have a baby, but I'm forced to have a baby. That's what made Sabran interesting too. Like, she was like forced into this religion. She is like a standard bearer for the religion. She needs to do this, and she didn't want to. That's why she had Nicholas trying to make like freaky potions on dragon butts and whatever the fuck. And then Ede's like, bitch, you got it wrong. my old Cleolind over here, she's the one who actually slayed. There's no baby needing here. So I don't know. It was good. Why that turned out? Okay. There was a good like synergy. Good energy between them because of that kind of banter where they were they had that kind of the argumentative spirit between them, but then at the same time, they have those kinds of connections that kind of brought them closer together over the course of the book.
And I think what really shifted their relationship was Sabran actually really did care about Aubrey. She wanted, like, she wasn't like a huge fan of getting married, but when she met him, when she got to know him, and I was waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, shoot a foot. I'm gonna use that phrase from now on. Tiffany, I'm waiting for the shoot a foot.
I was waiting for the other shoe to drop that Albert was going to be some like piece of shit who was against her, whatever. But it didn't turn out that way. Like he was trying to be there for her. He was very excited for the idea of her being pregnant. But I think the relationship between Ede and Sabran really shifted into a far more romantic relationship after he died. And I think that was because she was like, clearly this shit was never meant to be in the first place. I feel like that's where Sabran ended up after Aubrey died, because their relationship, like, Ede was just trying to be supportive, that she was like going through mourning, that she shouldn't have to deal with all of the political shit in the background, while she was just trying to get over the fact that her husband just died. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where their relationship bloomed, was just like Ede's level of support. But even before that, there was a lot of like friend banter and like kind of hinting at the idea of them being together, but it was kind of coy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then when Ede finally came back and they had that dance together, and then they, coupled up. Very old-fashioned way of saying it, but that was a nice chapter. I really liked it. Like after she came back from the Priory, and it was just sweet. Like I said, I think that honestly, that's like the strongest aspect of this book is that love story, and that's why it's keeping it at 3.5. And some of the action scenes I really enjoyed, and overall the world building. Like the world building is not bad for the West. The East is the problem. I don't feel like it got its fair dues. in this book. It really could have been way more fleshed out, way better characters. Like even some of the Tane had adversaries and stuff. During the dragon trials, right? Nothing.
Couldn't
really.
tell you their names at all.
Yeah, I can't tell you their names. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some more time with Tane's supposed lover, because now you guys are telling me that you made it up, Dave.
I could be entirely wrong.
I don't remember. It was so long ago.
I feel like there was something there. There was reread those chapters.
I think also the monks on Feather Island.
The monks of Feather Island, yeah.
There were conversations about them being more interesting. Like they're not just scholars.
Well, some of them are like Tane, where they got kind of like shafted, to
Yeah, but we didn't get much of that, because then it was what Nicholas shows up and she has to, let's go be the part of this little fight right here that she doesn't really have any interest in being a part of.
Well, actually, I believe Loth shows up with his ship. Because they're traveling to.
It is Loth.
Yeah, they're traveling to the kingdom, the Eastern Kingdom. I can't remember its name. Seven Kingdom of Holy Hell. And so
it's like the 12 Isles. I think
okay, sure. And so they're traveling, but then it's a crazy storm, and then they get shipwrecked. But Tane, jumps on board, takes over the ship, and because I believe he also had the jewel. Like the magical mystical jewel that can control the tides and stuff, and I think Tane had some sort of pull toward the jewel. Or no, the jewel was buried inside of her. There was a jewel buried inside of her.
Oh yeah.
Because it was making her sick.
Yeah. Okay. So what did Loth have? Like he had some other piece to that.
He got something from the Red Damsels, didn't he?
Yeah, okay, from the Priory. It came from the Priory. I don't know what that is. Make my kid's phone. Yeah. So okay, so it was. So was it 2 jewels? Was it 2 jewels?
Yes, it was 2 jewels.
Okay.
Yeah.
One was inside of Tane, and one was from the Priory. Okay.
Yes.
And they both kind of worked in a weird synergy. They could control the tides and like push down the Nameless One into the bottom of the ocean.
Yes.
Into the earth or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And Nicholas was looking for the one that ended up being in Tane.
Okay.
But they ended up going to that stupid tree that got cut down. Mm-hmm. And there was like a whole riddle about it being connected to Naporo. And it ended up being in Tane's body.
It's like a fallen star. It's a fallen star or something. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right. So, but those 2 jewels were supposed to keep the Nameless One locked in, stuck where he is. Like they were basically supposed to redo the magic that was keeping him there in the first place for that 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't get to it in time because Ede got poisoned.
Right. Okay, cool.
And then they needed the swords.
Yeah, the one, well, they didn't even have a sword, right? It was a shard of a sword that Kalibba wanted to use to kill Sabran with. But, or was it Ede? Was she trying to kill Ede? Can't remember. It must have been Sabran, right? It must have been Sabran. Well, in the end, she did try to kill Sabran. She went on the ship. So Kalibba's a shapeshifter on top of everything. She turns into a white dragon. Although it's a worm. WYREM, right? I don't know. And so the point is that she allied herself. Allied herself with Friardal to bring back the Nameless One. She destroyed the Priory, Kalibba did, and then revealed to Sabran that hey, you are basically a clone of me.
Yeah.
Like you are nothing. I'm just gonna kill you and I guess take over. I think that was like part of the plan too. And so Nicholas was supposed to assassinate Sabran. They basically send him off on a little dinghy to Sabran's ship that's going toward the Nameless One at the end, like the big battle at the sea against the Nameless One with Ede and Tane all together, and now Tane's got superpowers and has eaten the fruit. And Nicholas was able to get close enough because, well, I mean, I don't know why he would. I don't know why they would have gotten him that close, because at that time he was I mean, she felt bad for him. Sabran did feel a little bad for him for, you know, exiling him. But honestly, I would not have put my, Nicolaes in the same room as Sabran at any point.
Or Tane for that matter, because I believe Tane was there at that point.
Tane walked in on him. Yeah, she heard that he arrived or whatever, and she was like, "What is this asshole doing?"
Yeah, basically, get wrecked.
Yeah, yeah, and so anyway, he decides that, I'm gonna give you the dagger that you need to kill the nameless one, that I was gonna use on you, and then I'm gonna go live my life at being an adopted like grandfather to True-Eye, who's dead with a head and spike and everything, just dead. And then Sabran and Eid are like, "Yo, she's dead."
What frustrated me about that part is that I feel like the author was trying to portray that as like a super sad moment for Nicolaes. He did all of this for no reason, basically, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be honest with you, didn't feel it. Felt nothing towards him. I had no sympathy for the whiny old man.
Yeah, man. He was done dirty, I think, in this book. I don't know if there was a better way to write him. Maybe if he had just been like, less whiny, and more like, come on, this is an adventure book, man. Like, there's so much happening, and you're, yeah.
I think because of his story, we lost out on a lot of lost adventures, which sounded like they could have been far more interesting, because the entire adventure with Nicolaes on the boat with that like weird pirate group.
They were which I believe the pirate group was led by the emperors of the East ex-wife, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, so like that whole storyline, not super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really care, because the entire time he's like, "Oh, she might kill me if I can't figure out this whole alchemy thing." But also, like, I'm just gonna keep cozying up to her. And then there was like another random character,
the translator,
that was like protecting Nicolaes.
Yeah, it didn't really click. Like, why would she care that much to like kind of be his best friend? He's such a loser.
There was no like reason for them to even have any kind of like friendship, relationship, or anything like that. His character was so flat because they couldn't, like, the author just could not flesh him out. He was just a whiny old man.
Yeah, I mean, there's no saving that part of the book. That's why you're getting a 3.5 for now, unless we come up with something even worse to really get me off that 3.5. I don't know. So.
Tiffany, where are you at in your rating?
Probably a 3.5. Yeah.
I think originally you were at a 4 though, right? And I was at a 4. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were both at a 4. I think at the time when we were reading the book, it was like, I don't know, maybe we got swept up in some of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And like, really, Sabran and Eid's relationship, and by the end of the book, they basically, Eid becomes the new prioress and decides that she's just gonna lead her priory, like start over a little bit for them, and do that, while Sabran will take the throne as is, and break this whole cycle of like this religious, pious, very hardcore religion, and just get rid of it, slowly over time. And I think they told each other that 10 years. They both will do this for 10 years and then run away together into the land of lovers or whatever, and they'll be together. And that's kind of how the story ends. I mean, and Nicolaes goes to a grave of his like lost boyfriend, who, that with True-Eye's father. Who cares? Who else? Aloth, I think, starts dating the Don Mata from Yascalin. Something like that happens. Who else? Tane. What happens to Tane?
I don't remember.
I could find out if you guys have anything else to add.
I could just it focused so much on Eden Sabran. It's like I forgot that there were other characters.
Well, yeah, we forgot about Ingrain Crest, which was which she was the head justice that was.
Oh yeah.
So the one part that I'll just say is that Ingrain Crest, head justice, she had Sabron's mother killed, assassinated, but blamed it on Yascalin, blamed it on somebody else I can't remember now. And then and I believe she was trying to control Sabron from the background all this whole time, but then Sabron kind of was like, no, and especially with Eid, she kind of broke the chains of like any controls that Ingrain could have had on her, and Ingrain was, dealt with by hanging or something. I can't remember. Oh, Tane was granted her life back. She was given a role as Sea Guardian, and she would be ambassador between the Great Emperor and the Warlord. Nyamathon was her, and now was with her, and they set off to Komorudu or whatever, which was the birthplace of Neporo, with the tree of like everlasting life. And I believe the story of Neporo was also that she had eaten the fruit, she became immortal, and people started noticing and treating her like a freak. And then she went to this Komorudu island and was kind of gathering all the freaks to her, and kind of made her own like little like village and stuff at the time. Like, so she was gonna kind of that was a cool story. I thought that was nice. So basically Tane goes off on her own to see the remains of the village. She makes it to so she gets to the ancestor's face and kneels in front of it. I guess there's like a little statue. And she finds the tree and lays down beside it, and then a beautiful butterfly lands on her and bleeds. I don't know why I wrote that. Did that actually happen? Did I have a psychotic event? And I'm like, this butterfly's bleeding? What?
That's another problem that I have with the book, by the way, is that if you're going to put 4 perspectives, they all need 4 complete storylines.
Yeah.
And if I don't care about any of their endings except for Eid and Sabron, you didn't do it well. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Loth just got buddied with somebody. Niklas goes to the grave of his... That doesn't even make sense.
Friardel escapes. The big dragon, the second in command, he escapes with whatever draconic like monsters he had with him. So there was an opening. I don't know, a mountain? Like that's where he came from before. He went to a mountain. He will go back to a mountain.
For what reason?
To come back.
For what reason? Another book?
Well, there was another book. There is another book, but it's
that's a prequel. It has nothing to do with this specific storyline.
Okay, but I do want to say, do you guys have your copies?
Yeah.
Okay,
not with me.
Okay. Win. Bring it up, because this is an important part. I think this is also why you're at a 3.5, or like at least me and Tiffany are at 3.5.
Yeah.
The cover of these books are genuinely amazing.
Look at that. God.
This is the reason we chose to read this book.
Yes.
This cover is so pretty, and like I read a lot of ebooks. I think Tiffany reads a lot of ebooks, even Dave. When I saw this cover, I had to have it for my shelves. And even though I'm going to rate this book a 3, this cover might get half of a star. Just for the cover alone.
And also, I really like the blue and the orange. Like that really. Like,
I will say though, this dragon is supposed to be Nyamathon, right?
No, isn't it Friardel? I mean, I would have thought it was Friardel only because it's on the tower. Where like it looks like it's the scene where Friardel is attacking Sabron for the first time, but you're right. It looks more like I would say the Nyamathon dragon type of thing.
But I don't think it was Friardel that actually attacked Sabron the first time. That was the High Western, which was Caliban.
No. It was Friardel. I mean, Tiffany, you can correct me. Am I wrong, or is Tiffany? I mean,
don't ask me. I don't know.
Okay, well,
I guess we'll never know. We read the book, but I guess
I have. It's probably on page like 10 of these fucking notes.
It probably is Friardel because there's no reason for Nyamathon to even look like this, like to even
Yeah.
display a level of anger wrapped around the tower. You're probably right that this is Firedel, however you pronounce the name. But yeah, the entire reason that we read this book is because it's pretty. And the prequel book is, I would say, just as pretty, which I also bought because
Yes, that's another. Oh my goodness.
whoever designed these covers, which is probably in the publication page, whoever designed these covers deserves a raise. I don't know what they were paid, but they deserve a raise.
They sure do.
And gorgeous covers. Does it say who did the cover? How do you find cover?
Well, anyway.
Illustrations done by Emily Ficini.
Emily Ficini, hashtag Emily Ficini.
She did a beautiful job.
Yeah.
Because there's only, 2 illustrations that would count, right? Which is the cover and the map. It's the only... Yeah. And I don't know, would you guys read the prequel based on the first book?
I mean, I probably will.
Thinking about it, right? The prequel has, I don't know, what does the prequel focus on? Like that. I think that's the deciding factor. Does it focus on the eastern half of the world, the west, or the south, or I guess all of them?
So this is the synopsis. Tanuva Mellum is a sister of the Priory. For 50 years, she has trained to slay worms, but none have appeared since the Nameless One, and the younger generation is starting to question the Priory's purpose. To the north, in the Queendom of Innis, Sabran the Ambitious, which is Sabran II's mom, has married the king of Horath, narrowly saving both realms from ruin. Their daughter, Glorian, trails in their shadow, so not Sabran's mom, Sabran's grandmother.
Well, I don't know. The ninth? Sabran the ninth, right? I don't know. Whatever.
Their daughter, Glorian, trails in their shadow exactly where she wants to be. The dragons of the east have slept for centuries. Dumai has spent her life in a Sakanese mountain temple trying to wake the gods from their long slumber. Now someone from her mother's past is coming to upend her fate. When the Dreadmount erupts, bringing with it an age of terror and violence, these women must find the strength to protect humankind from a devastating threat. Intricate and epic, A Day of Fallen sweeps readers back to the world of the Priory of the Orange Tree, showing us the course of events that shaped it for generations to come. So I would say it's, I think, 2 generations before the Priory.
And it sounds like it's focusing on like the most, interesting half that she's written. The Priory and the Sabran legacy.
Or the Bertrudum Queendom.
Right.
Also, apparently there is supposed to be another book, but it's not a sequel to the Priory. It's another prequel. So it's a prequel to the prequel.
Well,
I think I think there is value in this whole storyline, but I think that Priory being the first book is a mistake.
Yeah.
What'll happen is that there will be like the supercut of like this book in this order, and then you get the right story.
Oh, so like ACOTAR and
oh god, yeah.
Well, and the thing is Shannon, right? She might get better,
she's written other books besides this series, because I remember I was looking for the audiobooks of these books on Libby. Support your local libraries.
Hashtag Hashtag
Yeah.
And she had other books listed that were not this series. I have no idea what they are about. I don't know if they're epic fantasies. I don't know if she ventured into a different realm, whatever the case is. But she's definitely written other books besides this series. So I do wonder if this was just her bestseller, like if this is just the book that got her further along. And I will say, when did Priory come out? 2021?
No, 19.
Mhm.
She probably put it out at the perfect time because people were getting back into reading in 2019, 2020, and 2021 with the pandemic. And I think that having a huge epic fantasy like this that focuses on feminist themes, that has a lot of different what's the word I'm looking for? Diversity, like a lot of different representation. I think during that time, she had the perfect time to put this book out. Now, do I think that she did all the representation well?
No.
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 But I think that there was a lot of what is the word?
Butterflies.
No, there was
Pins and needles. What,
it doesn't matter. We're past it.
The foot is on the other shoe, or whatever the fuck he said.
Potential. That's the word I've been
potential.
looking for.
Right.
There was
of
a lot
course.
of potential in this story that I feel that we lost out on, and I wonder if she does pick it back up in these prequels. Maybe there's more layers to the East that we didn't get out of this first
I mean, in the book they even reference back to the old queens and why, when they were choosing the baby's name, like Glorian. And like a shield heart or whatever, and she stood up against an entire army with just a chair, or whatever it was,
Yeah.
And there's a lot. Again, the Priory itself is cool, like the sisterhood and their powers and how they've been keeping things kind of together. I wonder how Caliba fits into that book story specifically, because Caliba is actually, she's been around since the beginning, from the formation of the religion, because she is the reason the religion kind of formed. So I wonder, maybe we get more of Caliba,
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't. So when's the next book coming out that she was just talking about?
It doesn't say. There's not a release date or anything.
Oh, this is another series that I was seeing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that one apparently was like one of the first series that she had put out.
Okay.
Which looks honestly, whoever's doing this woman's covers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're getting paid handsomely.
They should be. This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I want to read this just because the cover is pretty.
Well, wait a minute. What was her name again?
Samantha Shannon or
no, the illustrator. We don't need the.
It was listed in here.
Jessica Biel.
No. What? No. Emily Ficini.
Ficini! How could I forget Emily? Emily Ficini cover. Wow. The first thing I wrote was casserole. Or at least casserole came up.
So she's out of the UK. It looks like she mostly does maps.
I found an Emily Ficini, but she is a speech language pathologist.
It's Faccini.
Faccini. Okay.
So I don't think she did the cover art. Based on her website, it doesn't look like she did the cover art for these. Or maybe.
It says Ivan Belikov.
Where are you saying that?
I just Googled it.
Ivan.
I just Googled who did cover art for Priory, and that's Ivan Belikov. That's what popped up.
Why isn't he credited?
Whoa!
I don't know.
Whoa! Also, you got like 28,000 followers. Whoa! Okay, hold on. Hold the
I need to
phone.
look at his.
Yo. Let me just present. Let me present myself. Present. And this one. Share. Oh, is it not doing it?
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
it's
it's just not. It's not showing. It's not showing on the screen for me here, which is kind of.
Oh my god, gorgeous!
Right, but
Mhm.
but if you look at it, wow. Oh, League of Legends. Oh, here it is. Oh, finally. Why is Google Meet being so weird tonight? So yeah, look at that.
Gorgeous.
Oh my god, look at that bird. Oh my god. Oh, is this
Is that a Bulbasaur?
it is a Bulbasaur, but it's got a house on it.
Yeah.
And it like grew through the house.
Yeah.
That is so oh my god. I mean, there's really nothing more to say. It's like, oh, it's Reddit. It's Snoo. Oh, Snoo has like a weird bird thing and mushrooms. Oh, this guy does mushrooms.
And it looks like he does the illustrations for all of her books because he also he did Bone Season as well. And apparently somebody else designed it, but he did the actual illustration. So I imagine like they kind of talk about like what they want the design to be, and then he's the actual artist of the design. So Emily Ficini is actually she did the maps.
Whoa, there was more to this cover.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, that's Fire Elbow. Fire Red. Why is that such a problem for me? I don't know. This is so cool. Like this would be Nyama on the left. That blue snake dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't have wings. He just
I see. Look, it's on the back cover.
Yeah. Truly amazing covers. I gotta get a lot of credit to the cover.
This one has such a derpy look though. Even though he's so
Yeah.
dangerous, but look at the derps. You could just see he just goes crazy derp. I know you want to bite me and eat me and kill me, but
You're a derp.
you're a fucking derp. This is so neat. Oh, he's using an iPad Pro plus Procreate, guys. So that's all you need. iPad Pro and Procreate. That's it.
And talent.
And
Yeah.
and loads and loads of talent. Yeah. Man, I could just scroll through this stuff forever.
Yeah. Gotta give him a lot of credit. He did an amazing job.
Oh my god.
That's gorgeous.
Like if you want a tattoo,
Yeah.
this is the guy. This is the guy. I really like this.
His colors are so rich. That's what I really
God. Soul right there. There's a soul.
So I wonder if all of these are
Fuck.
owned or not.
You know, man.
You know what?
I just wanna talk to this guy. I wanna see what we could do together.
That's so pretty.
God damn. Was that him?
Yeah, probably.
All right, Mr. Belikov.
Yeah, he's Russian.
So dope. All right. Enough.
All right.
Enough of this. I'm drooling over here. So, anywho, 3.5, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the average there?
I don't know. You do the math. But I would say that it was still a fun read. I don't think, even though it was 800 pages, I know Wynn had such a slog. She slogged through it.
I am the reason that this video has taken so long to put out. I'll take full credit for the fact that it was entirely me that was taking forever, but I was moving in the middle of it. And as you've heard throughout this entire video, I'm not as big of a fan as they were. So
Well, and that first 100 pages too. That was weird.
Yeah, the first 100 pages were hard because there wasn't a lot happening.
Yeah.
I didn't start gobbling up that book until like I want to say like 500 pages. I didn't start
Yeah.
really enjoying it until about 500 pages in. And this is how I feel about pretty much all forms of media. If it takes me more than a couple of episodes, more than maybe 150 pages, I don't want to do it. When I tell you this book is the reason I got good sleep on multiple occasions because I was falling asleep while reading it, that's my point of view.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, fair. But we got through it, and here it is. Be sure to like, subscribe, tell a friend, okay? You know, follow us on socials, Insta, yeah, maybe Insta. I don't know. I don't remember the last social I did on, Instagram, Facebook. Okay, sure. Threads. I don't know. Subscribe to
And
the
await
YouTube.
our next
Spotify.
podcast. Hopefully, our next podcast coming out is Frida McFadden overrated or not? Overhyped? What do we think?
Yes. We all have read quite a couple of few books. Between all of us, we should have a pretty good idea of whether or not to. Does she deserve it? Specifically, though, we all read The Housemaid, which is, I believe, her most popular book.
It is the most popular book, yeah.
Okay, and you know, we will see how we all feel about Frida after that. Again, every time I come on here and I'm like, this was a 4. Oh no, wait, it's a 3.5, or it's a 2, or you know, I start second guessing my own rating. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so you know, leave a comment if you have anything else you'd like us to review. I know that we also still have the rest of the Akatara series to go through. I think we also wanted to do a nonfiction book again, like we did with the capitalism book. I think we want to do something maybe about the medical system. Why we all hate the medical system, what in America specifically, and what it does to people. You know, there's all sorts of cool nonfiction topics that we can like delve into. That you know, we can also talk about our own personal experiences around those topics. So that's gonna be cool. And yeah, all right, well, bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.